Hey there, my name is Taylor Walden, and I'm the host of the Shop Talk with Radiate Prince podcast. And today, I had the pleasure of having on the man who is behind what most East Carolina University students would say is their favorite place to grab breakfast downtown, the Scullery. The Scullery's been in business since 2011, and it is a restaurant in Greenville, North Carolina's downtown area, and what some would call the heart of downtown. During our conversation, Matt talks about some of the hardships of being a restaurant owner in the year 2020, for example, and just overall what it was really like to open up a brand new concept in a downtown area. And then now, about 14 years later, deciding to make a run for city council and taking his perspective as a business owner and applying that to local government. And he tells us about what that's been like. And it's just a really cool conversation. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's tune in.
Yeah, that's funny. I did have a few entrepreneurial things as a kid. I did a lemonade stand like a lot of kids do. We'd go out. And a funny story a friend of ours likes to tell, he came and had a glass of lemonade and I forgot to put sugar in it. And so it wasn't a very good lemonade stand.
Not worth the 50 cents.
And my dad had a restaurant when I was a kid, and I worked there, washing dishes, breaking down boxes, that kind of thing.
Was it local or are you from somewhere else?
I grew up in Pinehurst, North Carolina.
Okay, nice.
And the restaurant was right across the street from where we lived, so we could go over on the weekends and help out and make a little bit of money. So that was my first job. I enjoyed doing that. And then waited tables and did random things in college, washed dishes and did a little bit of cooking, but mostly waiting tables. I worked at Starlight Cafe for several years.
So you went to college at ECU?
Went to ECU, went to the School of Music over there.
Okay.
And loved that, did their opera program, their voice program, and really enjoyed performing. And a lot of those skills I use every day in the restaurant, just being able to, put on a show for somebody and create an experience for somebody.
That's so cool.
Being able to be calm under pressure and talk to anybody and fake it till you make it kind of thing is important in the restaurant business.
When you went to school for the opera, vocal training, what was your end goal with that?
Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was a kid in college. My mom was an art teacher, so I loved to paint and draw, and I loved to sing and act. I did musicals and stuff in high school. And ECU just seemed like a good pick because they have a good art school and a good music school. And they were nice to me at the School of Music. I got in choir, and they were excited to have another tenor around. And it was just a little more competitive at the art school, so I just felt more at home at the School of Music and just really enjoyed my classes and enjoyed performing and learning about opera and really thought about doing that for a career. I moved to New Orleans after graduation and sang with the opera there. But Hurricane Katrina hit and brought us back to Greenville. So the Scullery is sort of a long story that includes all that.
Okay.
So I moved to New Orleans after graduation, sang with the opera there, and really loved living there. And my wife, Erin, moved down there with me, and she taught school for 6 weeks at a little Catholic school. And then Hurricane Katrina hit, and we didn't really know what to do. And we both had church jobs through music and restaurant jobs in Greenville. So it was a place we could come home to, and both churches really wanted to take care of us and did. And we could pick up shifts at the restaurants and just sort of figure it out.
Yeah.
And through that process, we started a little catering company for some friends who needed stuff done. We had some free time and did a job for somebody that really went well and made some business cards and started a catering company. And that's what really slowly grew into the Scullery.
What did you call it, the Scullery?
No, it was called Personal Chef. It was really my wife that started that. Okay. And we did that together, just mostly for friends, people we knew, weddings and things at churches where there'd be a kitchen that we could utilize. Yeah. So that was, just sort of a side gig we did for several years. Okay. And then we learned about a small business plan competition through the city of Greenville.
Yep.
And we applied for that and won a round of that. And we got $15,000. And that's how we opened the Scullery.
What year was that?
In 2011.
Okay.
That's when we started. And at first it was just really a place where we could have our catering business and to grow that and a coffee and ice cream shop downtown.
Yeah.
There wasn't really anything like that downtown at the time. So we thought we could fill a gap there and serve the community. And it grew from there, and we expanded the menu over time. We got a really great baker who helped us expand our baking programs. We make all of our bread and bagels now, and
Very
cookies
nice.
and all that stuff. So really always having a team and, that could back me up and be creative with me as we grew, and then listening to our customers and figuring out what they want, and treating them like family and like guests in the restaurant. And it just sort of grew over time and has really become a staple in the community, and a place that people think of when they think of Greenville. And that's really gratifying to really be a part of downtown and see it grow over time has really been cool.
So what was the initial reaction like when you guys first opened in 2000? Did you open in maybe like 2012 after the competition, or?
In 2011,
Okay.
I guess we opened in June, and I
Okay.
think we won the award sometime the winter before that.
Okay.
I can't remember
So you had some
exactly.
prep time.
Yeah. So we took a couple of months, and I had been working for the Episcopal Church at St. Paul's
Mm-hmm.
Episcopal Church doing campus ministry.
Okay.
So I had wanted to finish that up and do a good job through the end of the semester, and we opened right after that. And I was working at Starlight Cafe, still picking up shifts, waiting tables. So anyway, we had strong connections to the community even then, and we really had a lot of support right out of the gate from people that we knew from our jobs and from church and from working at Starlight. We had people that were excited, and like I said, there was nothing like that down there at the time. So
Right.
people were really excited to have a coffee shop that they could go to and have a good cup of espresso. We make homemade ice creams. That was something we did right out of the gate that people got excited about. But it wasn't easy by any means. I mean, like I said, we only had $15,000, which seemed like a lot.
But I mean, to
but
start a whole
now
restaurant.
it's insane to think about that we were able to accomplish that. But we found a space that had a lot of equipment and furniture that came with it, so we were able to utilize all that and kind of get going, and just made it work. And did a lot of grocery shopping out of the walk-in that first year. A lot of worried nights and not sure if we were going to make it, but we always figured out, how to pay the bills, and take care of our employees, and focused on them and doing a good job, and people continued to support us, and so it's been good. And then through COVID, that was a hot mess too, where we really depended on the community as well. So just the whole life of the business, we've always been so thankful for the support we've been given from the community, and try as much as possible to give back whenever we're asked. We try our best.
Yeah. And what would you say makes the Scullery such, like, I guess you say kind of a community staple? Like, is there something that you feel that you guys have done, or like a certain way that you do business that really attracts people to you guys?
We make everything fresh. We really, I didn't have a lot of professional cooking experience, just a little tiny bit, mostly waiting tables. But both my parents cooked, so that's really what it is. It's homemade food that I learned how to cook from them. So it's just simple, but we do it the right way with fresh ingredients, making everything from scratch. So that's kind of what we start with, and then treating people nicely, hiring nice people that care, and that treat our guests like guests, treat them like family. And we're really welcoming to the whole community. No matter who you are, no matter what you look like, we're going to be as kind to you as anybody else. And that really makes a difference. And people really feel that when they enter the space. I hear a lot like, I like the vibe in here. I like how I feel in here. And that's all due to like the ambiance that we've created, but it's nothing fancy. It's, we switch out the art every now and then, so that helps a lot. Create a vibe in the space.
Tell me about the art
It's
part.
truly being nice is the most important part. My mom was an art teacher, so I love art and love supporting local artists. I like to paint a little bit myself still. So that's just a really fun thing to do, is to switch out the art show every month or two. We'll find a local artist and feature them in the restaurant. And it just changes the feel of the space, brings new people in to see the artwork, and supports a local artist. So it really is a win-win. We don't keep anything if they happen to sell something. I really just want it to be supportive for them, and I'm just thankful to have their art on the wall. It's just a fun thing to do.
And then you'd mentioned that you said you guys hire nice people who take care of your guests. What do you particularly look for when you're hiring to find that person who's going to treat your guests like family?
Well, we're fortunate that we have a lot of applicants being where we are. We have great visibility and a pretty good reputation as being a nice place to work. So we rarely have a problem getting applicants. Sometimes it's harder to get kitchen and cooking applicants than front of house applicants. But when I do an interview, it's very conversational. I like to ask them about themselves, what they like to do, where they're from, and what's their favorite job? What do they like to eat? Do they like to cook? Do they like coffee? Simple questions, but just trying to figure out, how comfortable they are with me, and do they make eye contact? Do they smile? And just have that genuine kind of friendliness that I look for. That's the most important part of working for us. You got to work hard. Coffee's got to be great. It's got to be made well. But the most important thing to me is that they're kind to our guests and treat them like guests. And it really pays off, and it makes a big difference in people's lives just generally. I mean, it's good for business, but it's also, just good. Right now, our world can be a scary place, and, when you watch the news, but it's nice to provide a safe space for everybody to feel comfortable and have something good to eat and spend some time with people that they enjoy being with. It's a very gratifying thing to do.
Yeah. And I realize I'm someone who I've been to Scullery many times, so I may have glossed over this for someone who maybe is listening that has never been to the Scullery. Tell us about the kind of food that you guys serve, where you're located, all that good stuff.
So we do breakfast and lunch. We're open Monday through Saturday, and 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. during the week, and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. Okay. We do our whole menu all day. So you can get a cheeseburger for breakfast, and you can get pancakes for lunch. And it's a pretty big menu, and a lot of your traditional breakfast things, but we make everything from scratch. We use real butter, real maple syrup. We make our pancake batter with eggs and flour and milk, and butter. So it's, simple stuff, but we do it the right way. And we have homemade bagels that are a little different than your traditional bagels that people really like to get breakfast sandwiches on. We do great salad. We buy local lettuce and try to do creative salads. Just put a little twist on the things that you're already familiar with, so that it feels interesting and fun and new, but it's also comfortable and makes you feel good at the same time. And there's a little something for everybody. If it's cold outside, and get a cup of soup, a stack of pancakes, a cup of coffee. If you want something light, you can have a salad or homemade granola or a smoothie. There's a little something for everyone.
Okay. And you guys are located in the heart of downtown Greenville.
We are at the corner of 5th and Evans, right at the heart of Greenville, literally in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect place for us to be. It's a block from City Hall, from the police and fire station. It's right down from the courthouse and amongst all those businesses, and of course right near the university. So it really is an ideal location for what we do. Love being there.
Who would you say, if you had to look at your customer mix, is it mostly students? Is it mostly people who work downtown that are coming to eat?
That is what I'm most proud of, is that it's very diverse.
Okay.
You see a little bit of everybody, all kinds of people.
Yeah. So. Do you notice any seasonality with school being in session? Or?
We are fortunate that it balances out a little bit more than some other businesses maybe that are more dependent on student traffic.
Yeah.
Because I think just people like to be there. So when school's out, people like to bring their families if their kids are out of school during the holidays or during the summer.
Yeah.
We're busier with local people. So it really does help us balance things out when the students are gone. But we get a lot of students in there, of course, too. We love seeing them. But I'm really proud of the fact that it seems like everybody likes to be there.
Yeah.
You see all kinds of different people, all over the community. Just love the diversity. And I'm always really proud when somebody that's different from me, that looks different from me, that grew up in a different place from me, likes my food. That just makes me so happy when they say that they're enjoying being there. That's just a really cool thing.
Yeah. So you guys are 14 years in. Sounds like it's 2025.
Yep.
So looking back, what would you say is the biggest obstacle that you guys have overcome since you opened?
We went through COVID. That was crazy. And opening was very difficult. But the obstacles through COVID were hard to deal with because at first, it was terrifying. We didn't know what to do. We were just trying our best to stay open and to be as safe as possible. Yeah. And then after that, just dealing with inflation and all of the supply chain issues and just the way people have changed in a lot of ways since then. Employees are a lot more careful with their time and thoughtful for themselves. And demand higher pay and better hours, which is all very good, but those are hard things to navigate as an employer when you're used to working a certain way. So it's just different. Yeah. So not complaining about any of that, but
it's just reality though.
But it is reality, and it was something we had to navigate. And, having to raise prices is always, I hate doing that because we have a lot of regulars, and I'd never want to price anybody out of being able to come in and enjoy what we do. That's part of it too, But that's, by and large, we've really been fortunate. The construction was tricky. They finished up Fifth Street recently. There's still sort of a mess on Dickinson. But downtown's going to be finished soon, which is great. But that was hard too, getting through that.
So for someone who's like unfamiliar, what happened and how did it impact you?
So there was a recent construction project, actually two really, that were impacted us. We have a new hotel, which is 2 doors down, which has been great for us now that it's finished, but it was difficult having a high-rise building being built 2 doors down. We had a few funny things. The power would go out or water would go out. Some unfortunate stuff there. Or the street was closed constantly when they were doing that, Evans. And then more recently, we had the build project down Fifth Street, which was a total rebuild of Fifth Street through downtown and all the way to Memorial Drive. So it was a huge project, and one that was really needed. That infrastructure hasn't been changed out in like 50, 60 years. So it was a total dig out of all of the utilities, water, electricity. They laid new fiber for everybody. So it was a very good thing, but it took a long time. Yeah. And not all the businesses made it, which is really unfortunate. And, I'm glad we did, but feel for those people that didn't. Because when you have a small business, you know how it is. Oh, yeah. You put your whole heart and soul into it, and you hate to see it close because you've invested so much time and money. And yourself, So feel for them, but thankful that we made it through. And the finished product is awesome, and it was really needed, and it looks great. And this fall has been really good. I'm feeling really optimistic about downtown and about our business. And there's been more foot traffic. ECU's been playing a lot better, so that helps.
That helps a lot.
Which is kind of a funny thing to say, but it's true. Yeah. When we have more tourists in town, more people on the weekends, it helps everybody. So I'm feeling good. Things are really coming along. Ready for Dickinson to be done. Still feeling for those businesses over there. There's also a huge project on Dickinson Avenue, which is right down the street from us. But once that's finished, downtown's going to look great, and I'm really feeling good about it.
Yeah, and speaking of downtown, so I know you have a big heart for Greenville, and that you're engaged in like local politics. Can you tell me about what led you to that? Like, was it, did it relate to being a business owner? Was it different?
It definitely did. It was a hard decision when I decided to run. I'm the District 4 City Council member for the city of Greenville. And I'm finishing up my first term, just ran for re-election and won. So I'll be happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So be serving another term. And I was approached by some friends because it was an open seat. The incumbent, Rick Smiley, decided not to run again. He'd served for 10 years. So they were looking for people to run. And at first, I said, no, I've got too much going on. I got kids in a restaurant. That seems insane. Like, why would I do that? Because putting yourself out there is a little scary. Yeah. But the more I thought about it, I have great relationships with a lot of the people that are involved at City Hall. I know a lot of city staff, other council members, people throughout the city of Greenville. So I had relationships that I felt good about, that I could work with those people because they know and like me, and I know and like them, and felt that I could make a difference and be helpful. And my perspective as a business owner and a father and an ECU graduate, I thought I was a good candidate and offered a unique perspective that would be helpful as they're making decisions about things that affect us every day. And I live over in Brook Valley, so there's a lot of infrastructure and safety issues that we have over there. I want to make sure that we're being thoughtful about our development and doing as many safety programs as we can, getting more crosswalks and greenways and sidewalks, taking care of people, making that area of the city more connected to downtown. I would love to see that. And then just being downtown and being helpful for local businesses, being an advocate during the construction process, was able to help sort out some stuff with the parking plan when I first started, because we were having some difficulty with trying out some new parking issues down there. So I felt like I could make a difference and be helpful. And other than that, I had no idea what I was doing. So I had a huge learning curve to get over. But the city staff is remarkable. They do a really great job getting people up to speed and educated about how city government works and making sure that they're ready to make thoughtful decisions and do a good job for their constituents. Really is awesome over there. They did do a killer job and really enjoyed serving. And it really, service is sort of at the corner of everything I do. It's what we do at the Scullery every day. I really love serving the community and feel a lot of gratitude for everything that we've received. All the success we have, I've really give it back to the city and the community. So just really enjoy giving back and serving. And then it was just another opportunity to do that in a different way, and was excited to step in, and I've really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to serving one more term, and we'll see where we go from there. Still have a lot going on personally, but I've been able to be effective and really enjoyed serving. So
cool.
Yeah.
And I guess since serving on the council, how has that has it changed at all, like the way you think about business, or especially doing business like in like a downtown area?
It gives me a broader perspective about how things work, and a deeper appreciation for how things work. So I'm less likely to complain, and it's nice to be able to explain, be an advocate for the city, and the decisions that they make are always thoughtful. There's a reason for everything, but when you don't know what that reason is, it's easy to get frustrated, because we all have our own priorities and needs and wants that we have to take care of. And, so it can be frustrated when there's a huge project going on that's interfering with your business and your life, So just being a connector and explaining those kinds of things has been really nice to be able to do.
Cool. Yeah. Is there like one, I guess, memory that you think back just over your time of like running the Scullery that kind of sums up like, the gratitude, I guess, you have for like being able to serve our community?
Let's see if I can tell you without crying. It's early in the morning, so I get a little teary-eyed. Let's see. There's lots. It's been 14 years, so pretty much, if you can imagine, it's happened. Yeah. But the employees is the best part, and being part of their lives and seeing them grow up and move on and have families and come back and visit is really cool.
That's cool.
But if there was one day, I'd say, right when we closed for COVID, that was really scary. And we put out a notice online, and that's probably the busiest day we've ever had. People coming to just help us take care of our employees and take care of all of our debt and use up all the food that we had, as much product as we could, so we didn't waste anything.
So were you like open serving people, or did people just?
Yeah, it was the last day that we were allowed to be open. So people, it was crazy because everybody was so scared, but they were there still, wanted to support us. It was just a neat thing.
Was it like a mandated, like you had to close that day?
Yep, the next day, yeah. Yeah, we knew that it was coming, and so we just put a notice online and hung a sign on the door, just said, "Hey," because we had already been doing some precautionary things, and but they were making us close for good for several weeks, and so we just put out a call for help, and it was heard loud and clear, and we sold pretty much everything we had. We were able to pay payroll and take care of our employees, make sure they were good, and pay all of our vendors, and really it was still scary and didn't know what was going to happen next. But just having all that taken care of and knowing that the community had our back was just a really big deal.
That is really cool. I think it speaks volumes to the impact that you guys have had on Greenville and how, like you said, people view you guys as a staple when they think of Greenville.
Yep. Yeah, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's 14 years of almost all really good things.
Yeah. Almost
I should write a book one day. Yeah, there's some crazy stories too.
All right. Well, if you're looking back, what is one small thing that has made a surprisingly big difference in your business?
One small thing. Just being nice, that makes the biggest difference. And being present, as an employer and as a leader, leading from the front, I don't know how small that is, but
no, I think it's a choice every day.
Yeah. So.
Okay. And if you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Calm down. I've gotten a lot better at sort of compartmentalizing things and trying to let stuff roll off my back. But that took a while to learn.
Yeah.
There were a lot of times early on where I was frustrated with an employee or with the health inspector or with whoever. And it was, just unnecessary. I feel for a lot of restaurant owners because that's like a stereotype, right? The angry restaurant owner.
Yeah.
But I feel for them because it's a hard job. You have so many factors that you're considering and thinking about all the time. And there's so many ways to waste and so much can go wrong. It's a stressful thing.
Yeah.
But you have to remember at the end of the day, we're just selling pancakes and coffee and ice cream. Just be nice, try your best. And that's really all you can do.
Yeah.
And then the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah. We often say we sell T-shirts, so it's not life or death. And I often find myself having to remind our team, like the world's not going to stop spinning if one shirt goes
keep
awry.
on spinning.
And besides your business, what's one passion or hobby that recharges your batteries?
I love hanging out with my kids and my family. I've got 3 daughters, and that's always a really nice thing to do. And I still like to sing and paint and cook. I still enjoy cooking at home.
Yeah.
So just making art and is something I really enjoy doing. And exercising. So you have to find ways to balance out your life and take time for yourself. That's really important, and I'm not always very good at it. I stay pretty busy, but find time for your family is really the number one.
Yeah. Cool. And if someone was coming to visit Greenville for the first time, where would you take them?
To the Scullery. I would go downtown with them and walk around and show them around. Walk around the university maybe a little bit. Scullery for breakfast, obviously. But we've got some great businesses. Starlight Cafe, Ford and Shep, Homage, Native, Luna Pizza, Blackbeard Coffee, Backstage Coffee. It really has turned into a very cool culinary community down there. And I can say that wholeheartedly because we're all friends and get along well. I'm leaving people out too. Sidebar.
There's a lot down there now.
There really is.
Yeah.
It's a very cool place to do business and a great community to be a part of. So.
Awesome. And how can people find you online or on social media?
I'm not very great online. We do not have a website, but we stay pretty active on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So that's a great place to look. Look up the Scullery on there. And we also do pretty well on Google. If you're curious about us, we have a ton of reviews on there. You can learn about what we're doing. So.
And my last question that's special just for you. What's your go-to order at the Scullery?
I don't eat a lot while I'm at work, honestly. My go-to order, being honest, some avocado toast with a scrambled egg or something like that, or half a chicken salad sandwich with some pickled jalapenos, a little bacon and lettuce.
Nice.
I'll usually grab that on my way out the door in the afternoon. But everything's good. If I'm eating breakfast somewhere, I usually get the pancakes and the eggs and the bacon. We have a hungry pirate breakfast.
I know. I used to get that when I was pregnant. I can't
great.
get it when I'm not pregnant because I can't finish it. But when I was pregnant, I could clean the plate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. People ask me that question. I'm like, I don't know. It's a list of my favorite things. I made it all up, so I really love it all.
Yeah, that's so cool. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on. It was really cool to learn more about the Scullery.
Yeah, it's nice to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
And thank you so much for tuning into the Shop Talk with Radiate Prince podcast. We'll see you next week.